A warm Friday afternoon in Daytona Beach, Florida, 89 degrees as we come to you live to bring you NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying to set the starting field for tonight's 250-miler you'll see on ESPN starting at 7 Eastern Time. And welcome to the World Center of Racing, Alan Bestwick with four-time Daytona winning driver Dale Jarrett and Daytona winning crew chief Andy Petrie. 43 cars here for 43 starting spots, and you can win one of these Daytona races from any place on the starting grid. That said, it is still important to perform well in this qualifying session.
Yeah, it really is, Alan. You want to have a car with speed. If you have that, it's going to allow you throughout the race to find different drafting partners, which will be beneficial. Yeah, the driver's going to get in here for 2 laps, and it's not really difficult for the driver to go out and do his job here, get into high gear and hold on for that, but there is still a lot of prestige. This is still Daytona, and it does matter.
There's a couple of other things to race for in this qualifying session, too, because qualifying is how you pick your pit stall. If you get the pole, you get the best pit on pit road. So there's that, and also pride. It comes down to pride with the race team. As a crew chief, I took these qualifying sessions very seriously because it tells people how fast your car really is. And I used to take a lot of pride in that, and when we put them out there for qualifying at Daytona, I wanted my car to be fast.
With stories on a couple of fast cars and interesting stories will follow throughout the day and evening tonight. We go to pit road. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you very much, Alan. You know, back in February, Danica Patrick won the pole in this very same Chevrolet. Now, she would lead 2 laps and then drop back to stay out of trouble, but then trouble found her. Now, while she didn't finish the race, what she did do is develop a lot of confidence and comfort in what it takes to run up front here. So much so that this team, driver, crew chief, team, everybody, very confident about what's going to happen today. Not just in qualifying, but especially tonight about pulling off that coveted first win. Here's Dave Burns.
Folks, I don't know how you spent your 4th of July holiday, but this team spent the day reconfiguring this race car for a different driver. They expected Denny Hamlin to be in this car, but chronic back issues are keeping him from racing in the Nationwide Series. He's saving himself for that Sprint Cup race on Saturday night. So the Joe Gibbs Racing folks said, well, who in our Nationwide Toyota family could we go to possibly get some help from a driver who's maybe the same size as Denny, who's aggressive at Daytona and possibly a winner? Well, how about Clint Bowyer from Michael Waltrip Racing? They put a deal together, sponsors, series, teams, all happy, and the former winner Bowyer will be in the yellow 20 car today. Alan?
Dave, thanks, and certainly one of the stars of the day and night tonight will be the driver of that machine, Joey Logano. He has won 2 of the last 3 times in a restrictor plate race for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Oh, by the way, he's also won 4 of the last 5 races he's entered this season. Logano, one of the drivers getting set to qualify at Daytona next.
NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying is brought to you by Aleve. Try Aleve for relief from tough headaches. And McDonald's. I'm loving it.
As we get set to go with qualifying, quick reminder that tonight it's the Subway Jalapeño 250 at Daytona for the Nationwide Series. ESPN at 7 Eastern Time. Also on the motorsports menu for the weekend, the American Le Mans Series Northeast Grand Prix, 4 Eastern tomorrow, ESPN 2. NHRA has got the Summit Racing Equipment NHRA Nationals qualifying 6 Eastern tomorrow, ESPN 2. And the finals, 8 Eastern Sunday, also ESPN 2. And the Eyes on IndyCar Series in the streets of Toronto, ABC, Sunday at 12:30 Eastern. Green flag and NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying is underway here at Daytona. Getting up to speed, 19-year-old Joey Gase. Back for another go at Daytona, ran here in February for the first time. Remember your first time at Daytona when you buckled in?
Yeah, I actually do. It was whenever they started the Busch Series, now the Nationwide Series here in 1982. I was actually, my brother let me start his car here, so I wasn't quite ready with my own team, and it was overwhelming to say the least. I mean, I'd never seen anything this big, and obviously the speeds that you go here at Daytona. It was very intimidating.
Now you'll see the standard restrictor plate racing pattern of qualifying where they'll run the first lap all the way at the top of the racetrack, gathering all the momentum they can, and then hug that yellow line on the second lap around.
Well, they're holding the throttle wide open. They're just trying to get as much momentum as possible. That's why they use that upper lane, just to try to make the track as long as possible. Give them as much time to get to terminal velocity as they can. and then they come down to the bottom and shorten the track up as much as possible. They can actually go below the yellow line qualifying. There's no penalty. I don't think you find any speed there.
No. They normally have these tapered spacers on these cars at other tracks. They have that plus a restrictor plate here, so doing everything they can to get the RPMs up and maximum horsepower.
Big difference between the Nationwide Series car and the Sprint Cup car at Daytona, that big rear spoiler. These cars punch a big hole in the draft, and you will see some great passing in the race later on tonight. In fact, 38 lead changes in the February race, 35 in this race a year ago in just 100 laps.
Yeah, the spoiler plus this asphalt still has a lot of grip. It's still fairly new, and it's just a ton of grip. So those combinations make the drivers feel real confident. They can make a lot of moves and feel that they can get away with it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
That's right. So a little bit better than 169 mile-an-hour average for Joey Gase. Here's Josh Wise on track in the 42.
We saw a pretty good pickup there. We're going to see most of the time somewhere between 6 and 8/10 of a second between that first and second lap.
Yep.
And that's going to really be mostly how high did they run the first lap? How close to the wall did they go that whole first lap? Because that does cost you a lot of time on the track. You're still building speed, but it does cost you lap time. You can see there's 5 or 6 feet off the wall for Josh coming through there.
And that used to be, even in qualifying, used to be a little bit dicey because the racetrack was really rough up there in that part, especially in turns 3 and 4. But since the repaving, much easier to go up there, and when you're only averaging 170, it's not that bad in getting up there and maximizing that. So we'll see most drivers get right against the wall.
Now, for those of us that are mere mortals, when you're only averaging 170,
but these cars are prepared and made to go much faster than that, which we will see tonight whenever they get in drafting situations of over 190 miles an hour average speed.
I always get a kick out of when people like yourself with a great deal of experience and success at Daytona say, oh, you could go out there and qualify the car here. Are you kidding me? I mean, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
If you really thought that were possible, but I think there's a little more to it than.
Yeah, I think even here it's still a little more tricky than a place like Talladega. I think there are a lot of people that could get in a car at Talladega because it's so wide and smooth there. But this is still a little more tricky.
171.5 mile an hour average for Josh Wise here at Daytona, qualifying just underway for the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Daytona International Speedway and NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying getting set for tonight's race that you'll see live on ESPN starting at 7 Eastern time. 3 cars have gone so far of the 43 that will take time. Latest to run, Chase Miller in the 46. You see rolling back around on his cool down, 171.093 miles an hour for Chase Miller. Not allowed to add fuel to the cars. It is a warm day, so you're going to want to shut it down as quickly as you can and coast it around.
You want to try to put as much tape on the grill for the speed and run those 2 laps. It gets plenty hot, and we'll shut them off as quickly as possible. Most of them will do it right at the start-finish line. And like you said, out with these big spoilers and all the drag that these cars have, it takes a lot of speed out of them. They almost just don't make it back to the pit road.
You know, we talk a lot about Jeremy Clements and his family operation and trying to do everything they can each and every week. Really makes it difficult to come to a place like this where everything has to be so technical, getting wind tunnel time and all of that to be fast. Makes it difficult for a team like this, doesn't it?
It does. And I talked to Tony. Tony's a good friend of mine, Jeremy's dad. He's saying that the same thing you're talking about, how hard they work on these things. And they still run SB2 engines. They have an SB2 in this car. They're going to have their first RO7 engine. I believe it's Indianapolis, he told me.
SB2, the older generation of the General Motors engine package. 172 miles an hour for Jeremy Clements, and he goes to the top of the board in Nationwide Series qualifying. So what do drivers do for hobbies when they're not racing? This is Jeffrey Earnhardt, the 23-year-old grandson of Dale Earnhardt, Kerry's son. He's into mixed martial arts fighting. So, Doc, make sure this interview question is a polite one, or you might end up on the bad end of that.
Yeah, we'll have fun with this one. In fact, he's unbeaten, by the way, in the ring. We should say he's 1-0. Hey, how does that involve an MMA artist help you prepare mentally and physically for being in a race car?
You know, for me, it was my first fight, so there was a ton of pressure being put on me, and you know, you're locked in a cage one-on-one with another man, and you got to find out who the better man is. So, you know, it was really cool. It's pretty similar to here. You know, you're put on a lot of pressure when you got to qualify in the shows, which we do today, and then you got to go out there and, you know, try and put on a big show for all the Earnhardt fans that, you know, my grandfather and Dale Jr. and my dad have built such a big name here at the Daytona Speedway. So, you know, there's a lot of pressure in both situations, and, you know, to experience them both is just more help for me.
Yeah, Dale Sr. and Dale Jr. have combined for 47 wins here. Talk about your favorite memory. I guess I can guess what that is growing up.
Yeah, my favorite memory is probably just seeing my grandfather win the 500. You know, it was always a big dream of his. It was that one race he really wanted to get, and, you know, when he finally won that, that was a special moment for our whole entire family. You know, it was really cool to see him get that win. That's probably my favorite memory of Daytona.
Hey, good luck today. Good to have you here.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Jeffrey Earnhardt. And by the way, he was 9 years old, sitting at home, jumping on the sofa when he saw Grandpa Dale Earnhardt Sr. win that 500.
Has a great day, Doc, here at Daytona. Stephen Light, checkered flag, second on the board. Jumping into this 47 car for Daytona, 171.6 miles an hour for Stephen.
After watching that video of Jeffrey Earnhardt in the ring, I believe he'd be about the last guy to turn on the last lap here.
Yeah, for sure. But that was a great interview.
Yeah,
A lot of good. Yeah. And, yeah, as excited as I know that entire family was, the whole community was that excited, too, that Dale Earnhardt had won the Daytona 500.
Remember our colleague Mike Joy's call of it when Dale took the checkered flag. He wins the 500 finally. Yeah. And that's exactly the sentiment of that day. Finally. And all the people on all the teams coming out on the pit road to salute Dale as he came back in. What a great day. Danny Eflin on the track now. Johnny Davis's number 4 car. Danny's one of those young drivers just scratching and clawing and doing everything he can to try and show people he's got the talent to move up the ladder. And it's hard in this day and age right now, sponsorships being as tough to find as they are and so on, to jump into a car and show the world.
Yeah, you talk about this day and age, and in this sport in particular, we've said it many, many times, it's so different than, you know, athletes in other sports where you get to showcase those talents through middle school and high school, and if you choose to go to college, which I hope that you do if you're young, and can do all that, that gets you in a position to do all of that. Racing's so different, you know. Somebody has to have money somewhere along the way, pretty much most of the time, to get you in that position, and then getting in the right place at the right time is so much about this sport and getting success and having the right opportunity.
Well, you said it right. Opportunity. He at least has the opportunity. He's out here with them. He might not be in the best equipment, but he's out here, so he's got a chance to show what he can do.
You mentioned college, too. Danny graduated from University of South Carolina with an engineering degree this past December. And goes to the top of the board at 173.9 miles an hour. So South Carolina's Danny Eflin is the new leader in NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying. Talking with Jeffrey Earnhardt a couple of minutes ago, bringing up memories of 1998 and the great victory for Dale Earnhardt in the Daytona 500. There it was. Got to the caution flag first, came back around to the checkers, and then this terrific emotional salute from all of his competitors. Daytona International Speedway, NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying now being led by Josh Richards. Just went to the top of the board, over 174 miles an hour. And the new leader with just 8 of 43 cars having run. Temperatures crept up a couple degrees since the start of the qualifying session. 91 degrees the air temperature now here at the beach. And Eric McClure on track on the second of his 2 laps. Of course, McClure just returning to the cockpit of this race car a couple of weeks ago after that vicious crash in the final stages of the race at Talladega. The last race similar to this, if you will, that the Nationwide Series cars ran. McClure coming back a couple of weeks ago and now back aboard at Daytona, a place where his family has enjoyed so much success over the years. Eric McClure up to the top of the board. and up to 174.159 miles an hour. Here's what we were talking about, the big scrum happening ahead of him on the backstretch, and as his car gets turned out of traffic, no brakes.
Yeah, that was just a viciously hard hit. You see Eric going right to the inside wall with no brakes. Thank goodness there was a safer barrier there to hit. Glad to see him back at the track.
Yeah, I know he's glad being back. You know, and sometimes I know he always enjoyed this style of racing at these restrictor plate tracks. It's like he's got a reasonably fast car for tonight.
Yep. And his teammate on track now, driving the 10 car, the former series champ Jeff Green.
Jeff Green's got 23 pole positions in this series. Tied for 6th all time with, I guess, Kyle Busch.
That wasn't who I was going to say. You got me.
I don't get you very often.
Also won the pole for the Daytona 500.
That's right, he did.
And in the world of qualifying, the way it's conducted these days, of course, the car's running in inverse order of speeds that they set in practice. So as each car runs, he should give pole position a run for it. And Jeff Green tracking just a little faster than Eric McClure.
Well, that's right, and especially at other tracks where practice really is a reflection on how fast you go. Here, a lot of these practice sessions, matter of fact, all the laps were in drafting configurations. That may not be the case as a rule because some of these cars can put down fast laps and may not be faster than some cars that maybe just didn't get as good a draft or as good a pull. But right now, it is holding true that everybody's breaking is breaking into the pole.
Yeah, Jeff Green, 174.490 miles an hour, and Jeff Green, the new leader in Nationwide Series qualifying. A lot going on in the world of sports. Coverage of the championships at Wimbledon continues tomorrow with the ladies' championships on ESPN. Serena Williams playing for her 5th Wimbledon title when she takes on Agnieszka Radwanska, who makes her first appearance in a majors final. The ladies' championship at Wimbledon tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, ESPN3, and also live on Watch ESPN. Daytona International Speedway, NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying, setting the starting order for what should be a spectacular 250-miler tonight here on ESPN at 7 Eastern Time. Taylor Malsom, illustrative of a storyline that often plays out in these Daytona races. I call it the Daytona surprise. Every time you get one of these races, somebody comes up there with a good finish that you say, huh, how about that? February, Taylor was one of those guys that wound his way through the difficulties of the day and came home with a top 10 finish.
Yeah, he was able to finish 6th in that race and actually got this team off to a really good start at the beginning of the season. Not that they haven't performed well the whole time, but it really kind of set a tone for them at the beginning, and it's been nice to see Taylor have some success here.
Sponsor he's got on the side of his car, the Noah's Light Foundation, named after a youngster who passed away from brain cancer. And that particular cause donated to trying to find a cure for pediatric brain cancer. Noah Larkin was the young man's name. And Taylor Malsom will go to the top of the board. 174.7 miles an hour for the 23-year-old. Talking about February's Nationwide Series race here at Daytona, of course, the finishing order scrambled a lot by that 10-car melee in turn 4 on the final lap, right side of the screen, where guys were running at the start of the last lap, left side where they actually finished in the race. James Buescher running 11th at the white flag, took home the trophy. Taylor Malsom 14th, Timmy Hill 15th, wound up 6th and 7th by dodging all that craziness that was going on ahead of him.
Well, they say you don't want to be leading on the last lap, but I don't think you want to be running 10th or 11th. But James Buescher pulled it off.
Yep. Here's somebody had a great run at the February race here until things went wrong for him in one of those crazy incidents that we see during the race sometimes at Daytona, the multi-car wrecks. Mike Bliss was running up there, and if memory serves correct, actually got up and led a couple laps.
Yeah, he did lead.
And they got caught up in a wreck. Do not be surprised the way the drafting is here at Daytona to see this 44 car make a run up to the front.
Yeah, Mike Bliss really understands this drafting. He's adapted to the different styles. As we had the pack racing, he was good at that. But I think he really has a good feel for what you need to do with this when they get into the tandem draft, how he can utilize his car and make it work the very best and move his way forward.
With 261 starts in the series, he's got a lot of experience to draw from.
I think he's got a pretty fast race car, too.
Yeah, looks like he's going to get the pole by quite a bit right here.
Yes, sir.
By 3/10.
Bump it up to 175.792 miles an hour. Mike Bliss, new leader in nationwide qualifying. Taylor Malsom, Jeff Green, and Eric McClure now in 4th place, Dave.
And Alan, we want to check in with Alan, with Eric after what happened at Talladega. You're back to the restrictor plate track. Will you race tonight any differently than you have in the past, Eric?
No, not at all. I mean, obviously, Talladega proved that these cars are safe. All the soft walls, the Honda device, everything does what it's supposed to do. I think I've proven that. But you come to a place like this for a team like ours, a smaller team. We're stretching resources across 3 or 4 cars. We have no cup affiliation. So you come to a track like this that's almost an equalizer, and it's an opportunity for a guy like myself to get a top 10, to have a really special night that we may not have at a 1.5 mile track or something like that. So I think, regardless of where we qualified well here in the spring. We started back at Talladega a little bit, but we raced well. The key for us is when we see the checkered flag, and I hope we can. If we do, the hefty car, the Reynolds car, have a shot for a good night.
Good positive attitude here at Daytona for Eric McClure. Alan?
And as we watch Eric Darnell on his laps, completely right. This draft is the equalizer, and you'll see a lot of guys run up there and have a great deal of confidence that they can get a better than normal finish tonight.
Yeah, it's just about getting yourself positioned in the right place at the right time, and that's towards the end of this race. And that's what gets all of these drivers excited. Not just the fact of racing at Daytona, but if you're in this race and can keep yourself out of trouble, you will have a chance to make a good finish out of it at the end.
Darnell bit off the pace on his first lap.
This 40 car is probably one of the cars that got a good toe in practice. Put up a pretty fast practice speed, and that's why he's going out later in the session than some of the others, but not quite up to speed to the pole sitter Mike Bliss. Mike set a really good lap, though. That 51.19 is a good lap.
Second lap for Eric Darnell, going to leave him 12th out of the 12 that have gone so far in NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying. Now, they are going to hold the next car for just a second and are sending a cleanup truck out because a water bottle has been spotted right down on that yellow line. Don't want somebody to clip that. You see that's right at the exit of the pit lane, and the cleanup truck will pull into that frame in just a second from the right side of the picture. How about that?
How'd you know that?
I knew. You can get in on this here with me, Mr. Yankee fan.
Yes, sir.
One of the oldest rivalries in sports, rekindled on baseball's biggest stage. Derek Jeter and the Yankees face David Ortiz and the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. It's Yankees-Red Sox on Sunday Night Baseball at 8 on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell. Also available on ESPN3 and live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app.
Yeah, what a great place to watch baseball, and 2 great teams going at it.
Be a lot of fun. You know I'll be watching. Mike Bliss, the leader in NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying. About a quarter of the distance through the running. Bliss on top at 175.7 miles an hour. 12 of 43 cars have run. Bobby Santos, former NASCAR Whelen Modified Series champion, on board Tom Baldwin's 36 car for tonight's race.
Drove the Mystic Missile number 4 to the championship 2010.
Yes, sir, he did. Looking to make his 6th NASCAR Nationwide Series start and his 2nd here at Daytona. One of the youngsters that Tom Baldwin is looking to develop and help further their careers. And a good crew chief to do it with, Brad Parrott. A lot of experience and a lot of experience working with young drivers.
Yeah, Brad always does a really good job with the cars and things. And Alan, go back to something that you pointed out earlier in the show about how you can kind of manipulate how much difference you're going to have between that first and second lap. Saw him really turn the car down off the banking a lot in turn 4, kind of shorten things up there, but to get a nice run down, I would venture to say that he may only pick up maybe 3/10 of a second, 4/10 of a second here. We'll see.
I was watching Brad Parrott. He's looking at the monitor there, watching the lap, but he saw that first lap time, and he was pretty. It looked like he was surprised that it was as good as it was.
Yeah, he's actually going to pick up more than I thought here. He's got a great lap going here.
That's one thing. Sometimes these teams don't do any qualifying runs. They don't really know what they can run in this configuration until they actually do it. That was a good lap, though. 51.01.
176.405 miles an hour. New leader Bobby Santos just bumping Mike Bliss off the pole. Let's hear from him. Dave?
And he was there for a moment, Alan. And Mike, one of those guys that we don't normally see always up at the front of the pack on a 1.5-mile oval or something like that. But at this place, Mike, we've talked about the fact that it's wide open for everybody. Where do you put your team in terms of a possible big finish tonight?
The biggest goal would have to be there at the end. It doesn't matter in the middle or beginning of the race where you are. It's trying to be there at the end, and I don't care if you put yourself in a position you get knocked out in the last 10 laps, but just trying to be at the end of the race. And I don't know where that is or where to start or what my plan is yet, but I guess just see how it starts.
He's in the field. He'll have a chance just like everybody else, Alan.
The great equalizer, the Daytona draft, and watch for Mike Bliss. Brian Scott on his first lap is going to go to the top of the board.
Yeah, pretty encouraging lap there.
51.007 for Brian, 176.446, and another one to go.
He's not going to pick up like we've seen these other cars from first to second lap, but he did get an incredible first lap. Looks like that's all he's going to run.
Look at the heat shimmering off the pavement in that camera shot. 91 degrees.
Well, no, that looked like our tracker just dropped off. He's still on. Like he was slowing down when I was looking at that tracker. I was thinking maybe he's going to see how much he was going to pick up.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, I know.
Brian Scott, a difficult start to the season. Got the ship righted, so to speak, with a string of consecutive top 10 finishes. Then a difficult night in Kentucky a week ago with an engine failure. And that was not restricted to just this 11 car. Joe Gibbs Racing's entries, both of them last week at Kentucky, had engine problems.
Well, he picked up Dale on that second lap.
Yeah, 6/1000ths of a second.
So technically he is correct.
He did pick up.
Yeah.
But not much.
So Brian Scott, new leader in NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying here at Daytona. This was a week ago in Kentucky when that string of consecutive top 10 results came to a close for Brian Scott. Hood up, hood down, car behind the wall, night over. That was last weekend at Kentucky Speedway.
You see all the engine issues that Joe Gibbs Racing has had in this series, and that's probably hurt them a lot. I mean, there were some good runs going right there.
Yeah, if this 11 team and driver ever gets some good racing luck going on their side, they can string together a lot of really good finishes and challenge for a win. But, man, they have a lot of things happen to them when they're having good runs, whether it's mechanical issues or being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And, of course, Joey Logano didn't run Kentucky. That was Denny Hamlin in that 18 car last week. Logano, though, is in the 18 car tonight. As we watch TJ Bell, the Joe Gibbs Racing season-long plan of running that 18 car in every race and pursuing the Owners Championship in the Nationwide Series. Let's see. Denny Hamlin was supposed to be in the 18 tonight. Joey Logano was going to be in the 20, but when Denny had his health problems and was out of tonight's race, they put Joey in the 18, and Clint Bowyer goes in the 20.
I'm glad you're keeping up with it.
It's my job.
They try to keep us confused, don't they?
Well, you know, got to do your homework. TJ Bell looking for his second start in the Nationwide Series here at Daytona. And is going to qualify back in the 10th position out of 15 cars. at 172.288 miles an hour. So, trend lately here at Daytona, particularly in the Nationwide Series, frantic finishes. Don't get any more frantic than we did back in the February race when going into turn 4 on the final lap, the top 10 cars all crashed. And James Buescher found his way through to score a huge win. He's back for another go tonight, Doc.
And what a great memory from February. And I just walked over and Steve Turner, your owner, just said we're going to do exactly the same as we did in February. Does that mean you want to be 11th coming out of turn 4 for the checkered flag?
I don't know that we want to be 11th, but, you know, everything worked out for us in February, and we've won a few races on the truck side since then. So, you know, I'm happy to be back here in Daytona. Really excited to be back in the 30 car, same car we won with. New sponsors on the car, though. Ron John Surf Shop and Quicksilver came on board with us this weekend, and you know, there's no better place than Daytona. And they gave us a lot of cool stuff. These hats right here, you can take the mustache off, you can wear it, and you probably can't take me seriously anymore.
Oh, you look serious to me.
No, it's really fun to have sponsors like that we can have fun with, and you know, the guys are having a good time with it, and you know, what better place than Daytona.
Hey, good luck today.
Thank you.
James Buescher, and by the way, it hasn't been announced yet, but I just told me a moment ago that Jamie McMurray will be driving the 30 car next week at New Hampshire.
Doc, I'll buy your dinner next Thursday night in New Hampshire if you put that mustache on camera right now.
Come on, Doc.
All right, we'll see.
Here we go. I'll let you put it on. Here we go. I used to have one of these years ago. How's that? Good? We good?
Hey, it looks good.
Hey, I'm cooler already.
There you go.
It looks good, Doc.
I feel dinner coming on next week at New
Yeah, and I'm
Hampshire.
betting Doc's going to have the biggest lobster they have up there.
Absolutely. Justin Allgaier, 4th fastest on his cool-down lap now, 174.96 miles an hour. Look for Justin to be in the mix tonight. Turner Motorsports, of course, got some built-in drafting partners with team cars, and
I can almost assure you that he will be in it.
yeah.
He loves this style of racing and does a really good job. He has a fast race car.
Yep.
That's always fun. He's exciting to watch.
Mike Harmon on track in the 74.
Got the appropriate paint scheme for this weekend.
Yes,
Red,
he
white,
does.
blue.
You'll see a lot of that around the racetrack, on the cars. The windshield banners from the sponsor Nationwide Insurance, all red, white, and blue. The NASCAR promotional campaign, NASCAR Unites, supporting families of military members who are serving or have served. Have a lot of small touches here tonight as well, like the flag that's flying over the fan zone in the infield, just brought back to the racetrack from flying over the USS Eisenhower when it deployed from Norfolk, Virginia for an overseas tour. Mike Harmon, one of those guys that's been around for a while and working hard to keep his team on the track and be at all the races and get a chance to compete and do what he enjoys best, which is driving these race cars at high speed. Second lap for Mike a little bit faster. It's going to put him 12th out of the 17 that have gone to this point. Brian Scott, number 11, top of the board, Dave.
Alan, Brian and I were talking about his yo-yo season. So since last week, and we showed a graphic, was one of the down weeks. This will be the up weekend, right?
I certainly hope so. I could use an up weekend at a super speedway, but I've got to give a shout out to everybody at Joe Gibbs Racing, everybody here at the racetrack and back home. They built a really fast dollar General Toyota for us, and excited to be here. Hopefully it'll be an upswing. Hope everybody's had a great 4th of July. Special thank you to all the men and women who have served and are serving and are overseas or stationed anywhere. Hope you guys all stay safe and make it home safely. It's just a fun weekend. I love the 4th of July. I love being down here in Daytona for it. And I love sitting on the pole right now. It probably won't hold up, but maybe we'll get a good starting position.
And you never know. Hey, and at that race tonight, right place, right time, this 11 car could be in the mix, Alan.
Yeah, sure could be. No one would be surprised at that. Brian Scott on pole position so far. Here's another Brian Silas, a 25-year-old from Stuart, Florida, looking to make his NASCAR Nationwide Series debut. Talked to Brian in the garage area yesterday a little bit. Very excited to be here. Does have some experience here in ARCA competition and the Camping World Truck Series, but excited to take another step up the racing ladder.
I would say that the cars or vehicles, since he's been driving trucks, are not a lot different racing here for him, but I think the competition level that he'll see tonight is it's going to be an eye-opener for him probably.
It's funny because the old joke about it's easy when you're out there by yourself, but when you put those other 42 cars out there, that's actually what Brian and I were talking about in the garage yesterday. He said, yeah, everything's going great right now. I expect it's going to get a whole lot more challenging tomorrow night.
That does become the difficulty of driving here at Daytona, is handling everybody trying to get to that same spot and making the right decisions at the right time.
Silas 10th out of 18 so far. 173.157 miles an hour for the youngster from Florida. Coming up on halfway through NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying at Daytona. Looks like I'm on the hook for dinner in New Hampshire, huh? He did it.
He did.
That's a good look for you, Doc. Get ready for a big NASCAR Nationwide Series race tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN. From here in Daytona, the Subway Jalapeno 250. How's that last lap going to turn out? What's going to happen between the green and checkered flags? It'll be fun finding out. A lot more racing coverage show on the weekend over the ESPN networks. American Le Mans Series, Northeast Grand Prix, 4 Eastern tomorrow, ESPN2. Summit Racing Equipment, NHRA Nationals. Qualifying, 6 Eastern tomorrow, ESPN2. And the finals Sunday at 8 Eastern, also ESPN2. And the Eyes on IndyCar Series on the streets of Toronto, 12:30 Eastern Sunday. That one's on ABC. NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying. On the track now, Blake Cook, the 26-year-old who has moved to a different spot for this week. Blake changing teams. Randy McDonald's operation helping him get this effort together to come out. The season kind of not going as well as Blake had wanted. Wasn't able to do the kind of racing that he wanted. So the sponsor deal, the car, the equipment, the whole thing all coming together kind of on short notice. And here is Blake out, planning to run the entire race tonight. And another one of those young guys looking to try and just find that opportunity to show what he can do at this level of the sport.
Yeah, we've seen him a number of times at different type of racetrack. Show his driving abilities and the ability to translate speed into some good finishes. Did that to finish 17th here back in February. So see what he can get done here tonight.
Blake's 2 laps get him 10th on the board at a 173.164 miles an hour. 23 car Robert Richardson back aboard this week.
He hasn't raced since Charlotte. He's got 7 starts this season. Sparks flying off of that car up in the high lane. Haven't seen much of that. The track is really smooth compared to what it used to be. They smoothed all those bumps and placed it in the track where you'd see them all bottom out. You don't see a lot of that now.
Yeah, you'd have to think that adding the tape, probably more tape than they've had on it all weekend, might have contributed to that car getting down on the ground here.
Might send him a bill for scuffing up the track with a spark fly.
Well, compared to other things that have happened here recently, I think that's kind of minor, don't you?
That's real minor compared to what they've had.
You will see right there that little patch of asphalt where the track was repaired. Remember the big jet dryer incident in the Daytona 500 back in February, where they did such a marvelous job of, first of all, containing a bad situation. Second of all, getting the track in shape to resume the race and finish the Daytona 500. Since then, they've gone back and resurfaced that small area of turn number 3. No issues with it whatsoever in the competition through the weekend so far, and none expected. And Robert Richardson finishing up his 2 laps in 13th position. There it is.
See, the apron has a bigger patch than the actual track does. You can see Montoya breaks a left rear trailing arm under caution and hits one of the jet dryers, exploded into flames.
And all of the jet fuel, essentially kerosene, running down out of that thing onto the racing surface and the heat of that blaze. Again, the track crew, you know, you stop and you think about what they have to be prepared to deal with and every eventuality. And they had the big boxes of Tide out there, and we all sat there watching and said, really?
Now, who thought of that?
Well, yeah, they'd done some research on it and what we have to do to clean up a fuel spill, and so they were ready and they dealt with it. And
great job too.
Joey Chitwood and the track crew here at Daytona, all over it. I talked to them about that with Joey a couple of weeks later, and you know, you just think about, as we watch Jimmy Hill, all of the logistics that go into operating a stadium like this on a race weekend, and they are almost unimaginable how complicated it is.
Yeah, and that situation had to be one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in this sport. The timing of it all happening just like that, for the part to break right then, for the truck to be sitting there, and yeah, it's just crazy. But as you said, a masterful job of handling the situation and making it to where Matt Kenseth could go on and get his second Daytona 500 win.
Remember, at Texas, they had the problem with some of the light fuses overheating, and Eddie Gossage and his team, they did what they had to do to get the lights set right, and then they replaced all the fuses on the whole system for the next night's Sprint Cup race. And these tracks are just so prepared for the unexpected, and it's to their credit. Timmy Hill, 16th out of 21 so far. Remember, he got a top 10 finish here back in February, last year's Rookie of the Year. So, top of our qualifying show, Dave Burns was documenting how Clint Bowyer will be aboard the Joe Gibbs Racing number 20 Toyota. Dave, you were alluding to a busy 4th of July holiday for the Gibbs team. There's more on that.
Well, Alan, one of the reasons, several reasons why Clint was chosen for this race car. He's a Toyota driver. He loves restrictor plate racing, and he was within 3 pounds of Denny Hamlin's racing weight, so they didn't have to move the balance of the car at all. But there was a big problem. Clint normally does not run a carbon fiber seat like this as Denny does. Clint runs an aluminum Butler-built seat. And as Andy knows, to change the seats where they mount down to the floor and everything else, that is a huge procedure and would have been a big problem on their 4th of July holiday. Lucky for them, Clint joined the Toyota ranks this year, and a few weeks ago in Bristol, he did a tire test for Goodyear where he used a carbon fiber seat for the first time. They took a mold for him, and in fact, his mold would have been the kind that fit inside the shell for Denny. Easy solution, but where was that mold? Where was the test car that Clint raced at Bristol for the Goodyear tire test? Well, they looked around. It was in the Joe Gibbs Racing shop. It was right on their property. They didn't know that it had been delivered back to them so they could get some of their test equipment off of it. So Matt Lucas, the crew chief, called down. He said, hey, is that test car down there? Pull Clint's seat out of there. We'll just put the mold right in the shell. The headrest that he was using, it was already made, and it was a huge time saver for this team in a very short week on last-minute notice.
And you can't believe what a nightmare it would have been to change that seat and put an aluminum seat in. And that was a real find for them to find that shell that goes in that carbon seat.
Yep. Casey Roderick on track now. We'll see Clint Bowyer after a little while. Roderick, the 19-year-old from Georgia, looking for his second start here at Daytona.
You know, he has like 100 short track wins around the country.
A lot of folks think that is a talent to keep an eye on. Bill Elliott, one of them, by the way, who says he's a guy to keep an eye on.
What I've seen him, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Get him in the right situation, the right equipment, we'll see a lot of good things from this young man.
Docs with a guy who got his best ever Nationwide Series finish last Friday night.
Alan, just 3 days prior to the King, Richard Petty's 75th birthday, his driver indeed brought home a career best finish. Now, I'm told the King was the first guy out of the car when you rolled to a stop in Kentucky. What did he say?
He said it's nice when they do what you want them to do. It makes your night a lot easier. And it was just the whole weekend was a testament to the work these guys they put in all year, and all the engineers and stuff. you know, it's a shame it took that long to get the first top 5, but, you know, we proved that we can do it. We ran top 10 all night. The Pilot Flying J Ford belongs up there, and sometimes it takes a night like that to prove to everyone that we belong up there. It gives us the confidence to come to Daytona and in this stretch of summer races to keep doing that and get more runs that these guys deserve like that.
Well done for Michael. And by the way, the King was the first one to the car. He beat all the crew to the car and actually took the window net down, guys.
Pretty cool.
That has to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, I keep an eye on Michael Annette tonight. He ran really well here back in February with a race team that was just put together weeks before that. So watch out for him tonight. The King might be going to visit him at another place pretty quickly tonight.
Place he's pretty familiar with.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Daytona's victory lane. Here is Jeffrey Earnhardt. Talked with him earlier. Making what has been an infrequent start in the Nationwide Series. See the water starting to shoot out the overflow there.
They've increased that pressure relief valve to 28 pounds from last February, where it was 25, so they can run them just a little bit warmer.
And for Jeffrey, 11th fastest right now out of 23 that have gone to this point. Plenty still to come at Daytona, including the winner of that Kentucky race last Friday, Austin Dillon, in the now familiar cowboy hat, heading toward his car. Coverage of the championships at Wimbledon continues tomorrow with the Ladies' Championship on ESPN. Serena Williams playing for her 5th Wimbledon title when she takes on Agnieszka Radwanska, who makes her first appearance in a major final. Ladies' Championship at Wimbledon tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, ESPN3, and live on Watch ESPN.
24 aces yesterday, Buster. That's, whew. Man.
Glad you weren't across the net?
Yeah, I promise you.
Yeah. Daytona and NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying, setting the starting order for tonight's 250 miler, 7 Eastern, live on ESPN. John West Townley will be aboard the 99 car tonight.
The best finish of 21st here in 3 starts.
Looking for just his 3rd try in the Nationwide Series so far this season. Love the bright paint job. You won't be able to miss that car on the track tonight. First lap for John West was 15th fastest out of 24. And the second pops him all the way up to 4th spot. Brian Scott continues to lead. We go back to Doc.
And Elliott Sadler is our points leader. Elliott, we felt for you last Friday night in Kentucky. Listen to the radio. Sound like your frustration meter was pegged. How tough was that?
It was definitely a tough race for us. And, you know, we tried some new things. We're always trying to get better. So we tried a lot totally different things that we'd run all year long, just trying to improve on the 1.5 miles, trying to, you know, make that next step as a team. But we definitely didn't do a good job with the one main financial car last week as far as the setup was concerned. But we did get ourselves a top 10 finish. You know, we still have the points lead coming here to Daytona halfway the season. And we had a great team meeting this week. We're all on the same page. We all know what we need to do these next couple months. And you know, we'll start that process here tonight.
What do we see tonight? We see pack racing, tandem racing, you and Clint. Who's your partners out there?
I think you're going to see a little bit of everything. It's so hot right now, and with the rules and the radiator openings and stuff that we have now, you can't push for a long time. You're going to get very hot. So I think you're going to see a little bit of pushing, especially towards the end of the race when the money's on the line. But I think you're going to see a lot of pack racing, too. People saving the temperatures on their engine until you get to the end. Who we'll work with? I don't know. Whoever's fast and whoever might be in front of us or behind us. That's who will be our partner.
Hey, thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Elliott Sadler, guys.
Now, was it just me, or was that look on his face just before he answered that question about who he was going to work with one of those I might be playing possum kind of looks?
I promise you. Yeah, he's got an idea. And that's what's going to be so great about tonight is we're going to probably see some very unlikely pairings happening as this race transpires and we get down when it really gets time to push and show the speed you have and then try to be going forward and win at the end.
Jason Bowles on track. We saw in Nationwide Series practice here yesterday, Elliott Sadler drafting with Joey Logano. in the
That'd be
18
like
car.
Keeping your enemies close to you so you can keep an eye on.
Well, I'm pretty sure the 3 and the 33 are going to work together, so that kind of left Elliott out. And so he had to go kind of search out another. It actually was sought out kind of the way that it happened, but I think we could see that happening.
Now, racers being racers, Elliott hasn't forgotten about Darlington.
Oh, no. He made that clear.
When he and Joey Logano had differing points of view on a late race restart that wound up with Elliott's car in the wall and Joey with the winner's trophy. But you have said this before, having a fast race car, in fact, you might have said it at the top of this qualifying show, having a fast race car will put you in demand as a drafting partner.
That's exactly right. And, you know, sometimes you just have to put those other things, as much as they still may bother you inside, to get you realize that the most important race is that next one. And so you have to put that behind you and maybe work with someone that you still don't see eye to eye with, but could be beneficial to your season.
12th fastest for Jason Bowles in the 81 car. 25 down as we work our way through NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying. So it will be interesting to see how it all plays out if Elliott Sadler, championship leader in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, ends up in the tandem draft with Joey Logano, who will drive the Gibbs 18, Chevy, Toyota, and driver thinking back to this.
You want to see another example of tandem drafting? How about this on a restart at Darlington?
Yeah, now Joey was in the yellow 20 on that night, and it just didn't work out.
There's two views of that. It looked like Joey may have turned him on purpose. The other was maybe he was trying to help Elliott get the lead by pushing him by. Elliott was definitely on the wrong end, though.
Yeah, and I think Elliott probably knows it wasn't an intentional deal, but something that could have been avoided. And that's what irks you as a driver is having a situation that you know could have been avoided, but you know it wasn't what Joey was trying to do anyway. He was just trying to kind of push Elliott along, but it happens, and you know you stay mad for a while, then you get over it, and
some of you stay mad longer than others.
Drivers never forget. Johanna Long on the track now, and you know you go through all of the dynamics of the draft, but if you're the championship leader, Elliott Sadler, and you want somebody to help push you to the win tonight, or to push to a win and get maybe a second place finish, or push clear of the traffic off turn 4 and have a chance to slingshot him at the line, wouldn't you want the guy that's won 2 of the last 3 of these plate races and the guy that's won 4 of the last 5 nationwide races he's entered to say, hey, want to be my drafting guy tonight?
Yeah, I could overlook a lot for that.
Yeah, when that guy sends you a text and said, you know, I don't have a drafting partner, would you be interested? Yeah, it doesn't take you. Well, I think it took Elliott a little while just because he didn't want him to think that everything was just A-OK. But it didn't take him too long to get back to Joey and say, yeah, I think we can do that. And you're right, Alan. Man, this won 2 of the 3 and has a fast race car. How about Johanna Long right there?
Nice. Third fastest. 176.239 miles an hour for the 20-year-old from Florida.
She finished 21st back here in February.
Yep. And again, the great equalizer, the draft. Avoid the trouble. Never know.
That's exactly right.
Another youngster looking to use the draft to his advantage, avoid the trouble, and find a way to maybe be the Daytona surprise tonight. Brad Sweet.
Watched him be really aggressive in a lot of situations. That could, if he can get himself positioned at the end, that could really pay off for his style and what you have to do at the end of this race to get yourself a good finish or an opportunity to win.
First time you came to Daytona, we asked you about earlier. Second time you came to Daytona, when you came back, how much different did it feel?
Yeah, I mean, a lot more comfortable. You felt like that, okay, it's kind of like putting on a new suit or something for the second time. You know, that first time it's a little uncomfortable. You don't want to be in that. But this next time, everything feels a little bit better. You kind of recognize things and understand things a lot more. And so it's a lot more enjoyable experience.
And probably not nearly as intimidating as that first time.
Yeah. Now, let me put the asterisk on. Brad Sweet, this will be his second try at Daytona. First one was in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. This is his first Nationwide Series start. Different type of vehicle, yes. but not his first time at Daytona.
That's right, yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, and you get to a place like this, these vehicles aren't that much different and what it takes to be successful in them. So, yeah, I think he's very comfortable in the surroundings, or more comfortable in them.
Sixth fastest for Brad, 175.439 miles an hour, his average speed. Well, Austin Dillon, the most recent race winner on the Nationwide Series, is with Doc.
Impressive performance last week at Kentucky, winning as a rookie. I don't know about you, but to me, one of the most special moments of the night was when Richard Childress came on the radio and said, Austin, Dale would have been proud.
That's awesome. You know, it was just a great victory, and had so much fun last weekend celebrating it and doing the media this week. And it's been a wild week. We're here at Daytona, and it starts the Dash for Cash. So I want to thank Nationwide Insurance for doing this program, and it's going to be a fun race tonight.
What'd you learn in February that'll help you here tonight? I understand you told the team you made a lot of mistakes and got away with it in February.
You know, just making some early mistakes, getting myself in position, and, you know, we got lucky at the end of the race with that big crash and ended up fifth. So it was a good finish for us. Went to Talladega and gained a lot of experience. It was fun.
All right, Kevin Harvick coming by messing with him. Austin Dillon trying to pick up 2 wins in a row.
And no one would be surprised. All right, let me rephrase that. I wouldn't be surprised if Austin Dillon were to win tonight.
No, I think that's a very real possibility. Young man has a lot of talent, and what you listen to right there is not only does he have that talent as a driver, but he thinks these things through and understands, and he's really a student of it and is learning very quickly.
Yeah, one of the things that's impressed me the most this year about Austin is he's able to keep his car out of trouble. He's finished all the laps. He doesn't hardly put a scratch on the car. That can pay off big dividends at a race like this. You got to get to the finish to be able to see it. He's been doing a good job of getting that car to the finish.
James Buescher on track now, the February winner here at Daytona. 4th fastest for James, 175.809 miles an hour. He started 15th in February when he went to victory lane at the end of the day. So 15 drivers still to go in NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying. Included Danica Patrick signing autographs for, well, the fans and Ricky Stenhouse on the way to the grid. It's going to be a spectacular show at Daytona tonight as the NASCAR Nationwide Series runs the Subway Jalapeno 250. Our live coverage on ESPN starting at 7 Eastern Time. Hope you'll be with us. Also this weekend, the American Le Mans Series Northeast Grand Prix is on ESPN2 at 4 Eastern Time tomorrow. The Summit Racing Equipment NHRA Nationals are on ESPN2 with qualifying at 6 Eastern tomorrow and the finals on Sunday at 8 Eastern Time. And also Sunday, the Eyes on IndyCar Series running in Toronto, 12:30 Eastern Sunday. See that coverage on ABC. Someone to keep an eye on tonight as a possible Daytona surprise. Mike Wallace, former winner of this race. Always good at this racetrack.
Yeah, I spent some time with Johnny Davis, his car owner. Very active part of the team, and he's telling me that they are very optimistic about this one. They've got an ECR engine under the hood for the first time. And he's going to be good. I'm telling you, this guy can draft.
If he doesn't win, it won't be because he doesn't know how or other circumstances, because he's going to give everything that he's got. He's got a great lap going here for qualifying, but we do expect to see him right up in the middle of everything tonight.
Goes to the pole. First guy
good job.
in the 52nd bracket.
New leader
That's the pole,
is
50.98.
new Moore crew chief, passing that on to Mike. 176.561 miles an hour. Mike Wallace now top of the board. Dave?
With Johanna Long, who is currently 4th, will make her 2nd start in the Nationwide Series here at Daytona. So what'll be different tonight, Johanna, over your first start here in February?
I have a lot more experience on these racetracks for sure. I feel really comfortable racing in the packs and drafting now. So I feel like we have a really fast race car, especially at Wishbar here at Chevrolet. I feel like it's really good. The guys been working extremely hard back at the shop, and I'm really proud of the guys at ML Motorsports. I'm really proud to be driving for them.
Do you have a buddy out there when you need one to go tandem drafting with?
Oh, well, I don't have a teammate. You know, that's our biggest downfall right now. But hopefully, you know, I've gained a lot of experience, and hopefully, when it comes time to it, hopefully someone will want to work with me.
Hopefully, she's one of those rookies that the veterans will say, "Yeah, I know she can do it. I'm going to race with her."
4th on the board right now is Johanna, as Joe Nemechek, another one to watch out for tonight in this 87 car. Matter of fact, might watch for he and Mike Wallace to team up in the draft.
Yeah, they have teamed up before, and they can make a really strong combination.
We'll go back to something Johanna Long said. I raced down here for, I don't know, about 30 years, and I never got comfortable racing in these drafts. She's already comfortable. I admire her.
Yeah, she's already comfortable.
Wasn't that I didn't enjoy it. It's just that it never got that part of being comfortable.
This from a man with 3 Daytona 500 winners trophies and a 400 winners trophy as well.
Sometimes fear's a good thing.
Had to run out front of all those other guys just to stay out of their trouble, right? Yeah, I expect to see Joe Nemechek getting up there tonight and having a shot at leading some laps. He did lead a couple laps in the February race here. Was one of the guys, one of the many, taken out in the series of late accidents in February. 37 different cars involved in one of the incidents in the February race. 3 of them, I guess you'd classify as the big one, multi-car wrecks. And unfortunately, Joe, one of them in the late going.
He knows how to get to victory lane. He's done it twice here.
Yep. 13th fastest out of 30 so far.
Yeah, he didn't qualify all that great back in February, but it didn't take him long to be up towards the front in the mix then. So don't let the speed right there that we see qualifying fool you. He'll be there.
Here is Elliott Sadler. Heard from him a few minutes ago. Talked about watching out for this too, to be partnered up with Joey Logano's 18 in the draft tonight when it comes time for the tandem drafting. How much tandem drafting we'll see does remain somewhat of a mystery. It is 91 degrees right now here at Daytona. Forecast to be down through the 80s through race time tonight.
I think we're going to see a lot of it. I talked to Luke Lambert, the crew chief on this car for Elliott Sadler. He told me that the guys that can do it right can work it to keep the cars cool and make the most out of it. I think we'll see a lot of it. We'll probably see some different styles of it, but I think we'll see it.
Yeah, you always wonder how points leaders and the other groups that are in there battling for this championship with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Austin Dillon, how are they going to race this type race? Because it's always such a wild card. You know, do you lay back and hang back, try to do things? I think Elliott Sadler and his team have decided they're going to take the approach that they're going to go after this, try to lead when they can lead, be up front as much as they possibly can, and obviously want to get maximum points and go to victory lane at the end of the day. So I like their approach that they're going out and try to, you know, take this championship and do it in the right way.
That's the way I like to race. I know you've done it. You've been successful doing that layback style. I've never liked it, especially as a team owner or crew chief. I want my car running as fast as it'll go every lap.
Elliott Sadler, 5th fastest with his best lap, 176.039 miles an hour. Doc?
And Ricky Stenhouse had a tough night last Friday at Kentucky. Jackman injured. By the way, how is Jeremy Neely?
He's not as good as he was before Kentucky. Unfortunately, my error there coming in the pit box. But we're going to get him back out here soon, hopefully. And, you know, he's one of the best Jackman. I've said it for a long time that I feel like he's one of the best we got. And we look forward to getting him back. But until we do, we're going to have to, you know, go try to put this NOS energy drink in victory lane and do it for him.
Quickest car in practice, but very few Fords in the field. Who do you work with tonight?
Man, I don't know. I try to come up with plans beforehand. The last, you know, when we first started this two-car tandem, and that didn't ever seem to work out for us. So I figured, you know, the last few, just kind of go with whoever's in front of you or whoever's behind you. And Clint and I worked really well there and talked about it after practice. So I feel like we can work very well together in the race, and he's got a lot of experience as well.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
By the way, Clint, he's talking about it. The guy's been standing here on pit road talking to you for about 15 minutes. Clint Bowyer, they've been chatting mostly about what could happen here tonight, guys.
I'm just kind of watching how Joey Logano is going about this qualifying run. Not using that high lane like we've seen quite a few cars do the first lap. Brian Scott and his teammate did the same thing, and they don't pick up much on that second lap. It's really hard to say without really getting scientific with the testing side of this to see which way is the quickest. But definitely this is a different style than we've seen.
Yeah, Elliott Sadler was more in the middle of the road there, but Logano and Brian Scott, as you mentioned, were both pretty much the same lines. That's how we've really seen utilize that a little bit. Worked out for him. Got him up to second.
176.547 for Joey Logano. A couple of ticks of the stopwatch off of Mike Wallace's currently pole leading time with 11 cars to go. Of course, Joey, winner of 2 of the last 3 restrictor plate races in the Nationwide Series, including here last July when he had to drop to the back of the field on the pace laps for unapproved post-impound adjustments and got spun out 25 laps into the race. No matter, came all the way through, held off the furious charge of the checkers and led but 1 lap, the last one. Beautiful day in Daytona Beach, Florida. I'll tell you what, there are a lot of people in town. Our hotel over on the world's most famous beach, and there are just people everywhere. And hope a lot of them are coming out to the racetrack tonight, tomorrow night, here at Daytona International Speedway. Late going of NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying to set the starting order for tonight's Subway Jalapeno 250. Michael Annett is on track now. 11 cars left to go. Mike Wallace has the fastest time so far.
I tell you, he put up a good lap. He's ahead of 2 of the Joe Gibbs cars already, so they've got to be pretty encouraged about what's going to happen to them tonight.
Heard from Michael Annett just a little while ago. Dale, you talked about how well he ran back here in February and how new this team was at that time.
Very late coming together, this whole situation for Michael Annett, but they made the most of it. I couldn't believe, like you said, Dale, they ran as good as they did in February and had their best run last weekend at Kentucky.
Yeah, he was very aggressive here in February throughout that race, and unfortunately got caught up in one of those accidents that Alan was talking about. He does have a best career finish of 6th here, so he knows how to get the job done.
9th fastest so far for Michael Annett. Mike Wallace on pole position with 10 cars to go, Dave.
And Alan, walking around the garage area this morning, I ran into an engine tuner I knew with an ECR logo on his shirt, Earnhardt Childress Racing. I said, who are you working for this weekend? He said, Mike Wallace. I said, that means you got some steam under the hood, my friend. What does that mean to you for tonight?
Well, it's just the whole effort that JD Motorsports has put together and all the guys that have helped us. You know, we have a really good motor package. We normally do our own deal with Tony Clements helping us, but we have an ECR motor, but the whole effort. And if I can take a moment, because I don't get to talk very much on television, but we're #1 at the moment. G&K Services has been a primary sponsor off and on this year. Barry and Karen Smith with Smith Transport. Brad Willard over at I-44 Speedway in Lebanon, Missouri, and Gary Keller, who's come on the team as partner, helped make this happen. You know, small teams got to accumulate dollars and put it all in a pile, and we said, where's our best places? And so we got us a motor combination for here in Indianapolis coming up, and just all excited. Our race team, you know, needed something like this right now. The qualifying's not over yet, but I just seen the 2-car Elliott Sadler roll, and he hadn't beat us, so I'm excited about that. And, you know, wherever we end up, hopefully it's in the top 5 or 6, but big effort. And Johnny, my car owner, he goes, look, if this was Texas Hold'em, we're all in, man. That's all we got. We got everything we got thrown at it. So great effort. Thank Ricky Benton also for helping us with the trailer a few weeks back. I just got a lot of people to thank. You know, my son Matt won his late model race. It's all great. It's hot here in Daytona. Everybody needs to be here.
Mike Wallace, big day at Daytona, Alan.
Yes, and could be a big night for Mike Wallace. Been a big week for Austin Dillon and Danny Stockman. One way they dreamed about, one way they probably would rather not have dealt with. Of course, they won the race at Kentucky last Friday night, leading 192 of 200 laps, but had a problem in post-race check as the back end of their car did not meet the minimum height.
Yeah, what happened to that car was that one of the jack screws that they used to set the height of the car, it backed off, and it was not intentional, and it was actually in the wrong direction for performance. And there goes Austin Dillon to the pole.
Speaking of performance,
0.2 of a second.
Man, I'm telling you, that was a good lap. But they did get a penalty for that, and that was the downside of their week, Alan.
Yep, fine for the crew chief. Point penalty for driver and owner. So instead of being the championship leader in the Nationwide Series, Austin Dillon comes into the race 2nd, barely behind Elliott Sadler. And right now, that #3 back on top of the scoreboard at Daytona, where it's been so many times over the years.
Yeah, it used to be. I used to think they just put that thing up there regardless, and it stayed up there all the time, that 3 number. But if you'd look up there, it was usually out front, and it was right.
Another guy to keep an eye on tonight. If you had to make a list of favorites, he'd be right up close to the top.
I expect to see this car and that #3 glued together as much as possible tonight.
Kevin Harvick, first lap, 7th fastest. Now we watch the track against Austin Dillon's lap time.
So far, so good. It's falling in the red a little bit now. You see just how closely tuned these two cars are, though.
Kevin, former winner in the Nationwide Series here at Daytona. 2007 February race was his. He's always a factor somewhere in the finish of these things. But it has been a little while since we've seen Kevin in victory lane in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. And maybe tonight's the night. Nah, it was close. It was close.
P2. Austin got you.
That about sums it up. Austin got you. Kevin second, 176.995 miles an hour. Among the 8 drivers still to come are both of the Busch brothers, Doc.
And we know that Kurt and Kyle will be working together tonight. We know they're very fast together. The question is, you're so fast in the draft, who wins? Who leads in that final lap?
The orange one. The orange car.
That's you. Now, how about the younger brother?
We tried it already, so to me it doesn't matter. But, you know, we had a great run going in the spring, a lot of fun running up front and then leading that last lap. Just kind of getting bottled up down the backstretch with other guys and then through turns 3 and 4. So, to me, I don't care.
Here's what we did wrong. We didn't get to the crossover gate.
Yeah, we got to get to pit road or the crossover gate, and then the wreck needs to be on there.
Then we wreck, but then we can slide across and at least finish okay. We didn't do that in February.
All right, you heard it here first, guys. Should be a wild finish.
Yeah, remember it was Kurt leading into turn 4 on that last lap in February, being pushed by brother Kyle. Joey Logano had the run on them. They moved up to try and block, a not uncommon occurrence in these restrictor plate races, and it all went crazy from there.
That was a nice promotional feature they did for the race tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For everybody to tune in.
Yeah.
We know where all the action's going to happen on the last lap.
It'll be right after the after the pit road entrance, right?
Yeah.
Gonna wind up in a big pile of start-finish line.
And just by way of reference, those of us that have been around this speedway for years know where gate 7 is and the crossover gate, but we'll show you here when Sam Hornish comes by, point the spot out. It's between turn 4 and the tri-oval, essentially.
There used to be a big dip there. They fixed that, I think, whenever they repaved this place. You used to always know. You didn't even have to look.
There. That's the spot that Kurt was referencing, or Kyle, or one of them. Another one taken to the apron there in the tri-oval, trying to shorten the distance up. That'll be 11th for Sam Hornish. 7 cars to go, Dave.
Austin's 50-75, holding right now on the pole. Good enough to keep it, and what did that tell you about your car for tonight?
I think it'll be close. I think we called it a 50-60 here earlier this year, so that'll be close. I don't know how there's some other guys. I think Danica's car was really fast, single car runs at the beginning of the year, so the Bass Pro Shop Chevy was good. It's way better than our practice run yesterday, so I'm proud of my guys, and I want to thank Tag Heuer, Nationwide Insurance, and everybody back at home watching us and the fans.
On the stopwatch, he's going the right direction, Alan.
Without question. Sitting on top of the board right now. Wow, how about that?
Trying to get a little draft, it looked like.
Yeah.
That was a little risky.
Camera angle probably made it look a little closer than it was.
It looked close. I'm not sure how much draft you can get off a car going that slow.
Take every bit you can, I guess.
I guess. I always wanted to try to leave pit road in time to catch one of those, but they've got this going rather quickly, so Brad was doing everything he could.
Brad Keselowski finished second here in February. Caught up in that big wreck, but was the first of those in the accident to get through it. But unfortunately for him, by the time he got straightened out and got through it, James Buescher had gone by, the caution had come out, and that's it. It was done.
Boy, you watch that replay and see just how close he came by straightening his car up to really clipping James Buescher and maybe sending him spinning. So just a wild finish.
How close Kyle came to getting clear of it, and then just got nicked and turned into the wall in a brutal collision. 2 or 3 guys just missed it by that much.
Yeah, if.
Yeah, I know. Third for Brad Keselowski. Good lap, not quite good enough to catch Austin Dillon or Kevin Harvick. 6 cars to go at Daytona. Danica Patrick on the clocks when we come back. NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying from Daytona International Speedway, setting the starting order for tonight's Subway Jalapeño 250. We're down to the final 6 cars, including one who could win the pole.
Yeah, this one's going to be hard to pick out tonight. I'm used to seeing that green car.
Yeah.
Well, she's run where she thinks she's going to run. It's going to be up front. It won't be any problem picking it out.
Running the red, white, and blue paint scheme in celebration of the weekend in support of the NASCAR Unites project that is supporting military families this year, the families of those who've served. And you're right, Dale. Danica has spoken here at Daytona this weekend and in leading up to Daytona that this is the first track where she really feels like she has a good opportunity to win. Said before the weekend that the style of racing here is a lot more like the IndyCar racing that she came from. Hold the gas to the mat through the corners and maneuver the traffic.
I agree with her. I think this is one of the tracks she can win on. I mean, heck, we said anybody can, but this is a fast car. She's got a good team, fast car, now a lot of experience, and now confidence, too. She had one of her best races a couple of weeks ago at Elkhart Lake at Road America.
Yeah, and I think she's gaining the confidence of other drivers to work with her, too, and that could certainly help her when it gets down to the last part of the race and needing that help and that push to get to the start-finish line.
She's going to be up front.
Right there in the middle of 3 and 4. Just lost that little bit of time.
Good up job, second.
And it was not quite enough to top Austin Dillon, but slides in their second spot, 177.012 miles an hour with 5 cars now to go.
That 3 car is still on the pole. When was the last time a 3 car was on the pole for the Nationwide Series?
You mean this note right here in front of me?
That one right there.
Long time ago.
That was 1982, Mike Porter.
Yeah, it wasn't the guy, it wasn't the name you were expecting to hear, right? Yep. Mike, West Virginia coal country. That's right. Car, right?
Yeah, first year of the Busch Series here. 42.
Cole Witt qualified 8th in the February race here, wound up with a top 5 finish. Another one of the people that missed the mayhem in the final corner, actually missed the last 3 incidents.
Yeah, he had an eventful day, but did a great job in bringing that car home in 4th. He's really had a good season. He's done a really good job adapting to these cars, to a new race team, seeing racetracks that he hadn't seen before. So doing a really nice job throughout the year.
One of the most impressive things I've seen him do this year is at Road America. Early in practice, I was watching how all the cars were negotiating some of the turns, and he was having a little bit of problem, but he learned so quick, and he got really good by the end of that race. It was just amazing to see how much improvement he had made just over the weekend.
You talk about different styles of racing. Some people just pick up the drafting thing or have an instinct that develops for the drafting thing more quickly than others. Cole's best finish in the Nationwide Series, 4th place, Daytona, Talladega, Michigan. 3 very fast racetracks with a lot of drafting involved. Second quickest for Cole, 177.092.
Just 0.02 of a second faster than his teammate Danica Patrick.
So you're saying neither of those drivers will be complaining the other one got the better equipment?
Well, can't complain much. James Finch is number 1.
Yeah, definitely someone to keep an eye on tonight. Kurt Busch out of brother Kyle's car into James's car for this race. The leader entering turn 4 on the last lap in February.
Yeah, the one thing that they tried to do on that last lap that's so difficult as they get into this tandem track racing is trying to make a block on cars that are coming. Really hard to see out the back and judge how quickly they are coming. And so just triggered a big accident, but they were doing what they thought they needed to do to win the race.
And blocking's not a new phenomenon in these drafting races. Especially on the last lap in the last corner.
See, he's flirting with the pole. Just a few hundredths of a second off coming on the back straightaway.
Talking about double duty for the driver. Crew Chief Nick Harrison doing double duty this weekend as well, bouncing back and forth between their NASCAR Sprint Cup Series car and this NASCAR Nationwide Series effort.
But James Finch has always loved to see his cars go fast at these type of racetracks. I mean, he loves racing everywhere and having good cars, but just something about Daytona and Talladega that they really put a great effort forth and are always up in the mix.
Right away, shut her down. P5 or 6 there, Kurt. P5, P5.
You heard the report from the crew chief. The numbers 176.866 miles an hour for Kurt Busch. 5th behind Harvick, Patrick, Witt, and Dillon. Danica sitting 4th right now. Down to the final few at Daytona International Speedway. NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying, setting the starting order for tonight's 250-miler. Kyle Busch looking to sniff that draft off brother Kurt's car on the cool down.
I think that one was as close to it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of upside to that.
Sometimes you have to entertain yourself running these qualifying laps here. So.
Totally random guess on my part, but I'll bet you by the next time we come back to Daytona, maybe even before Sprint Cup Series qualifying later, these guys will be told you have to stay above that yellow line when you are on the clock. Am I getting any seconds on that motion?
No, I think, yeah.
Did he shut it down?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you know, he ran
one lap.
19th quickest on the first lap, but didn't try a second one. I think he may have had a problem.
I wonder if it might have been a little bit hot.
No. We'll follow up on that in a minute. 2 cars to go. I think I said Danica was 4th a minute ago on the way to the break, Dave. My bad. How about 3rd?
Still 3rd right now, and up at the front of the pack either way, which here at Daytona I think for you is a good thing. What was that qualifying lap like, and can you forecast the tonight for us?
Qualifying is pretty straightforward for us drivers, so you know, I think it shows here that between Cole and I, obviously Junior Motorsports builds pretty fast speedway cars, and that's what you hope for when you come to a place like this. So we practiced well. We were, you know, obviously they invert the order, so what were we, 6th, 5th, and 6th, 6th and 7th or something like that. So that's all you need. From there on out, it's about being smart on the track, picking the right line, and being there at the end. And GoDaddy car is starting up front no matter what happens from here on out, and we'll race from here, but it's going to be crazy. It was crazy to start the year, and I have no doubt it'll be any less crazy. We're all more comfortable now.
And we're more comfortable with Danica, and she is running better and better each week, it seems. Restrictor plate tracks, a definite possibility for a victory with Danica.
All right, Dave, thanks, and we'll get that follow-up from Kyle Busch here in a minute, find out why that 54 only took the 1 lap. You ever have something you said that over a period of time and circumstances kind of came back around to you and said, well, maybe I wish I hadn't said that?
Well, sure. I wish it was just one time since we've been talking.
Well, it was not all that long ago when Clint was a competitor to this Joe Gibbs Racing 20 car that he made a comment about the potency of this machine that he's now aboard.
Trying to beat that 20 car. I mean, that's what everybody's gunning for right now. It seems like whoever's in it doesn't really matter. Put a monkey in that thing and it'll go in right now.
Oh. Well, Clint.
Yeah. Here we go. I remember him saying that now.
Pressure's on.
So if he wins tonight, I guess he's going to say, hey, there it is.
Yeah. Second lap for Clint. That is going to be 12th fastest. And there is just 1 car to go. Right there behind Brian Scott, Joe Gibbs Racing teammate for Clint Bowyer. And Joey Logano not far off. By the way, the report up from the garage area, nothing wrong with Kyle's car. Just shut it down. Just ran the one.
Well, we talked about earlier how it doesn't really matter where you start. You're going to be in just about every position at some point in the race.
You know, it is very easy to do, but it just makes you wonder, did he think that he had completed both laps? Because, I mean, it doesn't, you know, sometimes you get out there and you just kind of forget what's going on. I mean, it's not that hard a lap to do,
and the laps are so long here. The warm-up lap takes forever.
Yeah.
I guess you can lose count.
And he might have just decided to shut it down.
Save the cooling, save a lap of fuel.
Yeah, I thought maybe it just got to a certain temperature, and he saw that it wasn't any reason to push it. It wasn't going to make it back to where he needed to go without possibly creating a situation.
All right, one of two things is going to happen. Austin Dillon's going to win the pole, or Ricky Stenhouse is going to knock him off, because here is the last car on his second lap. Stenhouse 20th quick on his first lap, and that is so close. Top right there of the data box, 15 thousandths of a second off of Austin Dillon's time and pace at that point.
And steady. Look at that. Yeah. Now starting in Ricky's direction. Now going the other way. But so slight. We're talking about 1/1000th of a second.
Yeah.
These are almost mirrors, these runs.
It's going to be close. Let's see how it turns out. Stenhouse or Dillon?
It's going to change at the line.
It'll be Dillon.
E2, bud.
200.
50.750 to 50.775. And it will be Austin Dillon on the pole for tonight's NASCAR Nationwide Series race here at Daytona. Number 3 atop the scoreboard.
NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
Well, 43 drivers have made their time trial runs, and the starting order is set for tonight's NASCAR Nationwide Series race. Austin Dillon, fresh off his dominant performance in winning the race at Kentucky Speedway last Friday night, is going to lead the field to the green tonight here in Daytona. A look at the starting lineup for tonight's race.
Well, we see a lot of very capable drivers of winning this race are going to start up towards the front, but
we
don't
see
know
some.
that the group will come from, or the winner will come from that group.
We see some unexpected names up there, too. Mike Wallace up there.
Bobby Santos, great qualifying run. Johanna Long as well will share row 6. There's Clint Bowyer in row number 7. He's with Dave.
Alan, he is aware that we replayed some words that he had about a certain animal being able to drive the Joe Gibbs cars because they were so good.
That's real nice.
You start from 13th now. What's it going to be like for you?
Here I am sitting in for Denny. He's out for heat exhaustion, I think.
Here we go.
Yes, and no, I think he hurt his back. But yes, I have my monkey suit on, and I'm ready to drive this baby. It's pretty fast. I had a lot of fun in practice. I think they gave me about 10 laps in it. Said it was good, and away we go to the race. Looking forward to it. It's fun to be back here in the Nationwide Series. This is a lot of fun. It's always important and exciting, especially down here at Daytona. These restrictor plate tracks are really, really fun to be a part of. Thank you for Dollar General. They've been on my dirt cars before, so it's fun to be able to race with them in this Nationwide Series, and hopefully we can be having a lot more fun tonight.
He's in it for the fun. He's in it for the win, AB.
Yes, he is, and he will be one of the favorites when we go green tonight. With the Subway Jalapeno 250 here at Daytona, we start with NASCAR Countdown at 7 Eastern on ESPN. And up next, the U.S. Women's Open Golf Championship from Wisconsin. That'll be fun. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Austin Dillon in the 3 on the pole at Daytona. See you tonight at 7 Eastern.